Hello heathens, thank you so much for joining me today. So I am doing my April/Spring TBR, and the reason I'm doing it this way is because I have a theme. I love a theme, and I have various themes, and I won't be able to read them all in April as much as I absolutely want to. So I've kind of got three things. So one I'm sort of in the middle of, so you're going to get a sneak preview of hopefully my next video, maybe the one after that. So I was inspired by, where is the book? I was inspired by this book, This Book Will Bury Me by the amazing Ashley Winstead. And this is all about online sleuthing, true crime, how we engage with true crime, the reasons people engage with true crime. And I am doing a video with books that are similar to this, that are about true crime and include podcasts and like true crime blogs and people investigating. And it's going to be a bit of a longer video. I'm going to talk a bit more about my thoughts on true crime and how we engage with it as well, because I want to do more of those kind of videos. So I have read some of these, but I'm just getting through the rest of them. So some of those books, quick sneak preview that are going to be featured in that is Eliza Clark Pennant's Beast, True Crime Story, Listen for the Line, Night Swim, Book of Cold Cases. So these are going to be some of the books in that video, but look out for that video. So I'm just finishing some of those reads. So I'm in the middle of that. I am also still very, very much in my dark romance era, very much in my dark era. And because so I've got a pile of books on those over there that I will talk about, and because it's spring, my theme is around water. I just feel like, it's really warm and sunny in the UK. It is gorgeous, and I'm feeling very nautical inspired. I just feel like spring is a watery season. So I have a ton of books there, which we will go through, that are all to do with kind of pirates and the ocean and water in some way. And that includes horror, dark romance, kind of fantasy. It's going to be good, I think. The other thing I'm looking to do is, and I'm going to post a video about my kind of series update probably towards the end of the month, because I've been getting through series. I know, who am I? Also, new releases. So those are the two other sort of priorities to read new releases. One that I don't have yet, that's coming out imminently, I think it's next week, is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. I loved Phantasma. I cannot wait for Enchantra. So that's on my list to read. Also on my new release list, and I literally just bought this, is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I will say, I bought it and I started reading it. I'm loving it so far. So I have not read any Jessa Hastings before. I know Magnolia Parks is really loved by a lot of people, really popular series. And this is her new book. I believe it's a standalone as well. I really hope it's a standalone. But the cover on this and the back is gorgeous. And I just couldn't resist. So this is about a woman who's living in the UK, in London currently, Georgia. And she's kind of estranged from she's had issues with her family, let's put it this way. You find out that she was shipped off to London as a teenager at a very young age because her family didn't want to deal with her. And her family's like from the American South, very Pentecostal, very, proper family, and she didn't quite fit in. So you've got 4 siblings, 2 brothers and 2 sisters, her being one of them. Her other brother, Oliver, is gay, and he's also been ostracized from the family. And then you have the 2 at home that are like the golden children. And what happens in the beginning of this book is she gets a message from her golden child sister saying, Dad is dead. So their father has died, and they all going back home for the funeral. And you find out, so in the synopsis it says there's the family drama, the secrets and lies. There's a romance in this as well. The writing style is very unique, and I was warned about that, and I really like it. I'm loving the writing. I'm loving Georgie's voice in this, the main character's voice. It's making me laugh all the time. It's great. She studies like human behavior as well, which is really interesting. But I'm really, really, really loving this book. I love, rich people family drama. It's something that I love. This is really good. So we're off to a good start this month. Then the 2 series that I'm finishing, at least I think there's only 3 in the series, so I'm finishing it, and that is Slice and Sparrow. I've actually, by Bryn Weaver, I've read the first 2 books. I have this on audio, so I'm going to be listening to the audio. Cannot wait. Love the series. I will have then finished the series and I will talk about it. Like I said I'm going to be doing a series update video. And then Eyes on Me. This is by Sarah Kate. This is the Salacious Players Club series. I read the first book last month, Praise. This is book 2, Eyes on Me. I love the series. These are like my palette cleansers. So each one can be read as a standalone, but obviously you have the characters that kind of go through the series. So this is romance. It is smutty. It is funny. It is a good time. The relationships are great in this. This is just my favorite kind of smutty romance. I love it. I think Sarah Kate is amazing. And I've got pretty much the whole series, so I'm working my way through it. So that's on my series. And like I said, I will be doing a full series update video just to kind of go through where we're at. Then, what shall we do? Shall we do the dark romance or shall we do the ocean theme? Let's do the dark stuff first. Okay. So, this pile has been inspired by this book. So again, I have started reading this. I am more than halfway through. This is Hills of Shadows, Rivers and Shadows by Pam Godwin. Let's just have a moment for Pam Godwin. Now I know why everybody says Pam Godwin is the queen of this genre, because this book is unbelievable. And I'm not going to go too much in depth into this because I will be talking more about this, but it is dark romance, but it's also like a survival story. It is about family. It is about relationships. It is about twisted people's minds. The spice is unreal. The characters, the way they're written, it is so good. It is about a woman who is married to this really wealthy man and they live like in Alaska, and she then gets kidnapped and taken to an incredibly remote place by plane. You cannot be accessed. There's no one else there by this man who kidnaps her. And then she gets out of the plane. She sees that he has 3 grown sons. And he's brought her to this place with him and his 3 grown sons. And she kind of goes, oh, this is bad. You know, this is really bad. And the story kind of goes from there. But it is it's taking me through all of the emotions. I already know this is a Satan tier book for me. There's 2 other books. I believe this one ends on a cliffhanger. So I may need to buy the other one post haste and read it, depending on how this one ends. But this is dark, and there's sort of like certain taboo elements as well in this, because I believe all the brothers are related and things like that. But it is so good. But it's also kind of made me want to read more dark and twisted romance. So I want to do certain genre topics in this, and this month it's going to be very taboo, very forbidden kind of stuff. So in that vein, the first book I have here is by Gigi Sticks, and this is I Will Break You. This book sounds so fascinating. So our main character, she also, actually this ties in with the blogger and the online stuff. So we find out that she has kind of an online blog where she's talking about this serial killer who's on death row. And he's kind of unofficial fan club. And you also find out that she's been writing to the serial killer Zero while he's been in jail, and they've kind of struck up a romance and a relationship, and he is now going to be executed. And he is executed, but our main character then starts to get sexted by her executed lover, which is odd. You know, he's dead. So this just sounds, I mean, really kind of just a taboo, forbidden. First of all, you know, falling in love with a serial killer is probably not the done thing. But also that element of, but hang on, he's supposed to be dead, but she's kind of getting messages from him. So what's going on? This is supposed to be incredibly dark, incredibly spicy. The list of trigger I am not kidding. I had to, because I never read the trigger warnings because I don't want to be spoiled, but I didn't read them all, but that is the trigger warning list. 2 pages of trigger warnings. So I implore you, please read, if you need to read the trigger warnings, if you're not crazy like me. But the sounds just, I have to. There's another book called Pen Pal. I think that's kind of similar that I may be reading after that if I enjoy that. Then the next one I've got here is, oh no. We're doing the forbidden. So this is the super super forbidden taboo book. So this is literally called Forbidden, and this is by Tabitha Zuma. And again, some of these books have been banned. This one is a love story. You've always been my best friend, my soulmate, and now I've fallen in love with you too. Why is it such a crime? Because they're brother and sister. So I'm going to say, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. I am an only child. I don't know if that's going to make it easier for me to read, but as you can imagine, this is really taboo. This is really forbidden. I love being challenged. I love my thoughts, my beliefs. I love being confronted and challenged. And that's why I do really love horror and dark romance and psychological thrillers and anything that kind of messes with the mind and that, because I love being challenged by subject matter in books. And I think that's really good and a healthy way to challenge your perceptions. And I think reading and literature should spark thought and ideas, and it's supposed to be, you're supposed to think about what you read no matter what you're reading. So I know that this is gonna be challenging, but I really want to read it. I want to understand how this is done and how it's handled, and I've heard a lot of people say that it's actually really good and handled in a really good way, so I'm really interested. Then the other one in that kind of taboo forbidden is Balance by Lucia Franco. I believe this is a series, but this is about a young gymnast who is trying to get into the Olympics, and her father kind of sends her to be coached by his friend. And this is very much an age gap. This is very much forbidden and taboo because he is her coach. There is a duty of care. There is an imbalance in power. This is apparently incredibly gut-wrenching, again, incredibly well handled, but incredibly challenging as a read. It also very much focuses on gymnastics as a sport and kind of the challenges and the things that particularly the women in the sport kind of go through. And I really like sports. I love The Favorites, which was the Lane Fargo book about ice dancing. And this is about gymnastics. I love sports things, but sports usually comes as ice hockey, football. You usually get that. But I feel like we don't see many gymnastics related books. So this is something that I'm really looking forward to reading. I also have a bunch of ballet related, because I love the ballet, and I love reading about, the sort of behind the scenes of the ballet, kind of the ugly beneath the beauty that you see on stage. So I'll, again, not in the next couple of months, but maybe after that, I'll be doing a whole ballet themed read as well. So I think that'll be interesting. Then The Sinner by Chantal Tessier. Now, that cover I love, but it probably tells you all you need to know. So I read, this is also me continuing in a series. I read the first book, which was The Ritual. It's very much dark romance. It's very much like crime, mafia, this kind of society at Barrington University where this series is set, of very powerful, very deviant men, the women that are given to them and what they do, both in the bedroom and outside in the real world. This one, I believe, is very much kind of focused on BDSM as well. I think a lot of people say that this is the best book in the series, or they really love the second book, because I didn't really like the beginning of The Ritual, but I loved the end of it. So I'm really looking forward to kind of continuing in the series and reading about Sin, who is our main male character, because we knows I love a bad boy. Then I've got two more. Then we've got Twisted Dares by A.R. Brecht. This is, so this one, the reason I wanted to read this one, I have not read any A.R. Brecht before, but I've managed to have acquired two of their books. So this one says, born in blood and raised in sin, daughter to the most prolific serial killer in the United States, madness flows through my veins like a drug, pulling me deeper into the abyss. I feel like the mania burning through my veins, the dark vices of my father corrupting my sanity. How much longer until it consumes me completely? And then there's a love story in there. So she is a female psychopath, murderer, serial killer, and then they have a bit of a love story, and I love a bad woman. Again, I have a few books that are similar to this, and I want to then do a video on women's rights, but women's wrongs. So that's gonna get read. And then these are kind of dark, but sort of ish. So we've got this one. This is The Fierce Myth by Erin Doom. This is apparently being turned into a Netflix series. As you can see, there's a massive why, and I can't take that off. That's not a sticker. Why? And this is, so the synopsis here is, growing up within the walls of the Grave Orphanage, Nicka's imagination burned with fantastical stories, including that of the tearsmith, the mysterious craftsman guilty of having forged all the fears and anxieties in the world. When at 17, she's adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Milligan. Nicka thinks she's leaving her world of dark fairy tales behind, but the Milligans also adopt Rigel, an orphan who is as mesmerizing and handsome as he is troubled. They share a past filled with grief and isolation, and the ever-gentle Nicka starts to fall for her forbidden love. However, it isn't long until the fears and darkness of her childhood threaten to unravel everything. So, again, very much a forbidden dark romance. They are brother and sister, but not blood related in this one. And then I have a random Josh Malerman book. So this is Unbury Carol by Josh Malerman. Now, I have not read any Josh Malerman today. I know a lot of people really love his work. This sounded very much up my alley, and I've never heard anyone talking about this. So it says, only 3 people know Carol's secret: her best friend who's dead, her husband who hates her, and her ex-lover who left her. And then it basically says, Carol suffers from a dreadful affliction which makes her fall into long comas, waking slumbers indistinguishable from death. Her husband wants her next death to be her last. So I'm guessing her husband wants to get rid of her. He will claim her fortune by pronouncing her dead and burying her alive. Dark romance, anyone? The infamous outlaw James Moxie, once Carol's lover, rides the trail again, pursued by murder and mayhem to save the woman he loves. And all the while, Carol is a prisoner in her own body, hearing her funeral plans, summoning every ounce of a will to survive. Does that not sound fantastic? Like horror, thriller, dark romance. Yes, I'm here for it. Okay, now, this is going to be my spring. So it's not only going to be in April. So for the next couple of sort of months and a half, 2 months, I'm doing all of these ocean-themed books. So this is pirates. This is mainly pirates. Dark fantasy, ocean, all of that. So the first one, Devil in the Deep Blue Sea. Okay, this cover. I know I'm going to read this book and I'm going to just go Jason Momoa. Anyway, so this is, he's beautiful, calculating, cruel, and he's taken me hostage. So pirates, this is kind of modern pirates. So pirates are still a thing. Pirates attack yachts all the time. And the premise of this book is that pirates attack this yacht of her and her boyfriend, I think, or husband. And she jumps overboard to try and save herself, and then she's kind of picked up by, in my head, Jason Momoa, and he holds her hostage because, you know, she's of value to him, alive, for all sorts of things. I cannot wait. Then, Karina Halley. If you've seen any of my other videos, Karina Halley is one of my Satan tier authors. I adore Karina Halley. And this is a ship of bones and teeth. So this is a dark Little Mermaid retelling. So it says a standalone, which is great. This is a standalone as well. Gothic dark fantasy pirate romance retelling of the Little Mermaid. And that's all I want to know about this. And that's all I will read about this, because that just sounds unbelievable. And I know Karina Halley and I trust Karina Halley with my life. All of her books have been sensational. Do I have to say anything else? Then, speaking of another author I love and trust with my life, hopefully, this is Shallow River by H.D. Carlton. I also have another H.D. Carlton book. Let me get that out while we're talking, doing the H.D. Carlton Appreciation Fan Club, because that's me. Hi, President. Thanks. And Doesn't Hurt by H.D. Carlton. So both of these, water themed, right? They fit in with this theme. Plus, I want to finish all my H.D. Carlton books so I can do a video. And this one, I mean, this literally has a lighthouse on it. So this one is supposed to be incredible. It is, I think these are both standalones as well. Because one of my subscribers, Andrew, hello Andrew, hope you're watching. Thank you so much for commenting and watching. He was saying that he would love more standalone recommendations, and I'm going to be doing a whole video just on standalone recommendations, but these are standalones. So this one is about a woman who, I believe she's like on the run and she's stealing other people's identities, and then she steals the wrong guy's identity. He's not happy about it and he's going to punish her. Apparently there's a scene with her head in the water and sharks and him getting jiggy with it. which I cannot wait to read. But there's also a lighthouse and a shipwreck and all sorts of things. I hear it's very, very good. Like I said, H.D. Carlton, I trust this woman with my life. And then Shallow River, I don't know if this is her first of this kind of genre, but it basically says Shallow Hill is where souls suffer slow and miserable deaths. And it has a river, and it's H.D. Carlton, and that sounds, apparently this is really dark romance. And again, I mean, that's beautiful, isn't it? That's all I really need to know, because it's H.D. Carlton. Right, then the next one. Sorry, the lighting is terrible. I'll need to try and move this camera because I am literally going blind. There we go. Sorry, thanks, you got moved. This is Afternoon Sunshine. It's glorious. One of the reasons I bought this apartment was because of this. This is stunning, but, you know, filming conditions and all. Anyway, Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. This sounds so good. So this sounds almost like dystopian space opera, dark academia, whodunit. It says Agatha Christie with glitter magic. So you've got this kind of academic ship, the Concordia, and you've got a whole bunch of the most elite in this realm of the kids studying on this Concordia, on this academic ship. And they go on this voyage, and then I think people start dying. Some of these kids start dying on this voyage. So it becomes kind of a almost like a locked room, in this case, locked ship, whodunit. It sounds so weird and so unique and so interesting that I absolutely want to read that. Also standalone. Then this one is The Deep, well, I believe so far, The Deep by Alma Katsu. This is a horror retelling of the Titanic. Okay. And I have been watching the readers for years. I adore Titanic. Don't judge me. I do. Go away if you don't like it. I literally sat on the steps of the cinema because the cinema was so full. Everybody wanted to watch it. When it came out, I adored it. Jack and Rose. Yeah. I loved the Titanic. So, what more do I need to say about that? Then, shall we do this one? Yeah, let's do this one. So this is Those We Drown. So this is by Amy Goldsmith. I have read another Amy Goldsmith book that I really loved. And this one is when Liv lands an all-expenses-paid opportunity to study abroad the luxury cruise ship, the Eos. This is a bit like the other book, Voyage of the Damned, for a semester. She can't believe her luck, especially since will offer her the chance to spend time with Will, her ex-best friend, who barely spoken to her since the night their relationship changed forever. But as soon as she steps on board, Liv realizes just how out of her depths she is, with Will, with the rest of the seamster students, including the brittle and beautiful Constantine, who may be hiding his own ties to the Eos. So this is apparently, they say, Liv's dreams. She wonders, is the Eos hiding dark secrets within its shadowy decks? So again, dark academia on a boat, but also I believe there's a bit of Greek mythology going on in here. It just sounded fantastic, and again, it's been on my shelves for freaking ever. And you know, I must read this. Then Pam Godwin. Pam Godwin is heading the way of Karina Halley and H.D. Carlton for me, because just based on that one book, I'm here for it. This is Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. Also a standalone dark romance, pirate dark romance with a female pirate. Apparently she's a kick-ass female pirate. She lands herself in some trouble, and then she gets captured by another pirate. Apparently the spice is off the charts. Pam Godwin, this woman can write. Dark romance at its best. Pirate-themed, ocean-themed dark romance. So I will say she is the reason that I'm doing this whole kind of theme, because I want to read that book. Then this one is another one that I have had forever. And this is The Ballad of Jaquette de la Haye by Bryony Cameron. This is a book about so it's a fictionalized tale based on the true life of one of the first and most notorious female pirates in the Caribbean. Now, I believe this is set in 1656 Santa Dominica. In the dark confines of a cell, a prisoner's waiting. Soon the hangman will call her name, Jaquette Delaney, a name which has struck fear into even the mightiest of empires. For Jaquette is no ordinary prisoner. She's a pirate, fierce, legendary, deadly. That's all I need to know. Sorry, that's quick. I cannot wait. This is also a stunning cover. I cannot wait to read that. Super, super excited. Two more to go, folks. Curious Tides. This is by Pascal Lascelles. I believe this is the first book in the series. I've only, for once, only bought the first one because I have a terrible habit of doing that. We'll talk about that in another video. But this is Welcome to the prestigious Elgin College for Lunar Magic. And it says, after a treacherous night at the Dorvmere Sea Caves leaves her with a strange dark magic, Emery is desperate to uncover the truth behind the drownings that led to the death of her best friend Ronnie and the cult-like secret society she's convinced her classmates were involved in. And then there's kind of eclipse magic and all sorts of things. So this is magic. This is, again, like dark academia. And, you know, I think it ties in with the kind of watery, oceany sort of theme we've got going. Plus, I just really want to read it. And then the last one is Untamed Shore. And this is by Sylvia Garcia Morena. No, Morena Garcia. This, I love Mexican Gothic. So Sylvia and I, we have an interesting relationship because some of her books I really love and some of them I really didn't. So she writes, the cool thing about Sylvia is she writes in a load of different genres. She writes a load of different types of books. I can honestly say I've never picked up 2 of her books and thought they were the same, which is a good thing. I think it really shows her range as a author. This one just sounded absolutely beautiful. So this is Baja California, 1979. And again, I love that. Just literally put me in the mind of Daisy Jones and the Six, which is one of my favorite books. But anyway, Viridiana spends her days watching the dead sharks pile beside the seashore as the fishermen pull their nets. Her head is filled with dreams of Hollywood, of romance, of a future beyond the town where her only option is to marry and have children. But then 3 wealthy American tourists arrive for the summer and Viridiana is magnetized. She immediately becomes entwined in the excitement of the glamorous foreigners' lives and an escape from the premise of a humdrum future. When one of them dies, Virginia lies to protect her friends. Soon enough, someone's asking questions. And she has some of her own doubts about her new acquaintances. Sharks may be dangerous, but there are worse predators nearby, ready to devour a naive young woman who becomes entangled in a web of deceit. It sounds so good. And obviously my tentative water link in there. So those are the books. I'm very excited about the next few months. I have a few others brewing. I do have Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. I also have Modern Divination and Spark of the Everflame on audiobook that I'm hoping to get to as well. And a few others. And some projects on the go. So let me know if you've read any of those, what you think, what you're excited to read this spring. And, you know, like, subscribe, leave me an emoji if you like this video. And any suggestions, like Andrew, if you have anything you'd like to see, leave it down below. I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye.